Look at the ancestors. First they hit Nottoway, then they hit the Confederate Museum. Then we saw what happened in Kalorama, so we know that they in the DC area. You know what I mean? We know that they in the DC area doing work. But you know, I thought they were working with fire. Let me find out the ancestors done. They like Captain Planet. They got all the tools. Okay, I see y'all working. Hey, shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. I am Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
Not every wage, and please hear me clearly on this, not every wage is designed to be a livable wage.
You know, the kinds of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
I want to talk to the manager.
Now today, I want to talk about a group of people who we're around. They might be in our friend group. They might be in our families. They might be our president. You know, the kinds of people who spend all their time and energy trying to make us like them, trying to look the big shot, when all they really needed was therapy. You know what I mean? They put us through all of this because they don't want to sit on the couch. The president is celebrating himself and the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army with a massive display of military might and a no protesters allowed attitude. We'll get to the protesters in a moment, but first, can we talk about how nasty it is to throw your own party? Yeah, I mean, does anybody like that? Does anybody like, and maybe this is instructive. You might be watching this and you might be one of those people that you throw your own party. I'm here to tell you, because they won't. Don't nobody want to come to the party that you threw. If they wanted you to have a party, they would have thrown one. President Donald Trump is celebrating his 79th birthday and the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army with a pricey military parade in D.C. on Saturday, January 14th. The massive parade will feature 6,600 soldiers, 50 military aircraft, and 150 vehicles. The event is free for members of the public to attend, though it is expected to cost taxpayers up to $45 million. 45 million. So then it's not free now, is it? No, it is not free. But that 45 million, you know, divided amongst all of the U.S. citizens is nothing compared to the shame of being an officer and thinking one day you were going to see combat, only to be brought to D.C. to parade around and cosplay for his birthday. The kind of man, didn't Marjorie Taylor Greene just talk about born with a silver spoon in his mouth? Yeah, you're doing a rich kid birthday. Look, I as a comedian have performed some private events, and I know what it feels like to know that the child, and yes, I'm calling a 79-year-old a child because he's throwing his own birthday. You technically can be referred to as a child when you throw your own birthday party. I know what it feels like knowing that the child that you just performed for has many times more money than you have in the bank just for living. I know exactly what that feels like. Trump, who turned 79 on Saturday, has commissioned a day of festivities and an amphibious parade with the stated goal of honoring the Army's 250th birthday. Oh yeah, there's that. It's going to be an amazing day, Trump told reporters on Tuesday. We have planes, we have all sorts of things, and I think it's going to be great. We're going to celebrate our country for a change. Y'all got pony rides? Y'all got a bounce house? Well, then y'all didn't cover your own bases. I bet y'all don't even got clowns. You know, what kind of party is And is this a drop-off party? Is this a drop-off party or the parents gotta stay? Because let me tell you, I'm counting my days so I get to the age of those drop-off parties, baby. Give me that free daycare. I get my weekends back. And note, he also said, we're going to celebrate our country for a change. Once again, class, every accusation is an admission, because don't nobody talk trash about the country more than Donald Trump. Okay, Donald Trump even talked trash about Air Force One. Like, there's no aspect of America that he has not trashed. But he says, quote, we're going to celebrate our country for a change. I guess that's like when your mommy tells you to be nice on your birthday. You promise to be nice. You promise to be nice today. Then he warned that anyone who attempts to protest the event will not be treated gently by the government. For those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with a very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest, but you know, this is people that hate our country. Nah, he wouldn't say a thing like that. I think that must be a misquote. I can't imagine he would just say something like that.
Celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest, but you know, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with very heavy force.
Now, I pretty much fill up my entire day roster with rampant MAGA hypocrisy, but this is a special one. So if I got this straight, you're bringing military personnel, aircraft, vehicles into the nation's capital, involuntarily making us pay for it. And if people exercise their First Amendment right to protest, the kind of thing that people, the rights that they serve to protect, the core foundation of the rights that they're fighting for, then you are threatening to unleash that military on the protesters, suppressing those rights that they signed up to protect. Is that what? Yeah, and that's before we even get to the idea of the country being founded based on us protesting our treatment from England. Like, what are you going to tell the children? What are you going to tell the ancestors that we will all produce in the future about this? Like, at least I can say it's not on my hands. At least I have that. Preparations for the event began at the start of the week as tractor trailers and trains transported Army vehicles, including M1 Abrams tanks, Bradley fighting vehicles, and M109 howitzers to the nation's capital. The Army Corps of Engineers also went to work installing large metal plates on the city streets to mitigate damage from the tanks, some of which can weigh 60 tons or more. In May, the Army told NBC4 Washington parade was expected to cost between 25 and 45 million, with a spokesperson confirming that the high end was a possibility. I would say it's a probability because we're dealing with Donald Trump balancing the books. Y'all know how he gets down. The estimate includes the cost of fixing DC streets from any damage done by the vehicles, which military leaders believe may cost up to $16 million. Can I preemptively report damage? Cause the pothole on my street, that's been there like 2 years now. I mean, come on, dog. Come on, that's been there 2 years. So if you gotta drag a tank up through there just so we finally get that fixed, I'm good with it. Yeah, make sure they come down here. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser told the Associated Press she remained concerned about damage to the roads despite the Trump administration's promise to fix them. I think there's been a time and attention paid to how to move this heavy equipment in a way that doesn't hurt the roads. If they're rendered unusable, we'll have to make them usable and then go seek our money from the feds. Good luck with that. You're going to join a long line to get paid from them. But Muriel Bowser, I know a couple unusable roads already. You know what I mean? You want a list? I got you. Trump defended the price tag of the event in a May Meet the Press interview, saying the cost of the celebration is peanuts compared to the value of doing it. We have the greatest missiles in the world. We have the greatest submarines in the world. We have the greatest army tanks in the world. We have the greatest weapons in the world, and we're going to celebrate it. And then also render them useless by virtue of eliminating the things that they were purchased to protect. In fact, while we're on the topic, while we restricting rights, can I get a discount on taxes? You know what I mean? Because we shaving the rights away, because we paying for all this. You know what I mean? Are they ad hoc rights? You know, is it pay per right? Like, what's the? Well, y'all need to put that in the bill or something. If you're keeping tabs, Trump's one-day small-in-the-pants parade is going to cost nearly $100 million, and his unconstitutional dictator cosplay deployment in LA is going to cost $134 million, but we can't afford health care for our vets, food assistance, or kids' cancer research. Aha! Not only is Trump making that proclamation about protesters immediately after escalating things in LA, it's also immediately after having to pay for his own escalation in LA.
A once great American city, Los Angeles.
Now this I love. Trump posted a short video address about the parade to Truth Social on Friday, inviting Americans to what he called an unforgettable celebration, one like you've never seen before. For 2.5 centuries, the men and women of America's Army have dominated our enemies and protected our freedom at home, he said in the video. The parade salutes our soldiers' remarkable strength and unbeatable spirit. You won't want to miss it. Just don't miss this one. It's going to be good.
I am thrilled to invite everyone to an unforgettable celebration, one like you've never seen before. On Saturday, June 14th, which is Flag Day, we are honoring the 250th anniversary of the greatest fighting force in history, the United States Army. We will celebrate a spectacular military parade in Washington, D.C., like no other. For 2.5 centuries, the men and women of America's Army have dominated our enemies and protected our freedom at home. This parade salutes our soldiers' remarkable strength and unbeatable spirit. You won't want to miss it. Just don't miss this one. It's going to be good. Thundering tanks and breathtaking flyovers will roar through our capital city as nearly 7,000 soldiers march in historic uniforms from every major war since the Revolution. Join us for this once-in-a-lifetime celebration. I think it's going to be better and bigger than any parade we've ever had in this country. Reserve your spot now at America250.org. America250.org. I hope to see you there. I'm going to be there. I'll be watching the entire event. It's going to be something very, very special. I don't think we've ever done one quite like this. We're going to be celebrating the Army and our military. Thank you very much.
Now, if there's one thing that has been well established in this particular space, it is Donald Trump's deep affinity for the military and respect for military history.
So he insulted me, and he insulted everybody in that room. And I said, somebody should run against John McCain, who has been, in my opinion, not so hot. And I supported him. I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Do you agree with that?
He's a war hero because he was captured.
Today, the Army is rebuking Trump in the wake of the furor, saying political activity at the cemetery is prohibited. The video was used for a campaign post on TikTok, a big no-no.
We didn't lose one person in 18 months. And then they took over that disaster, the leaving of Afghanistan.
The Army is also coming to the defense of a woman cemetery employee who they say was abruptly pushed aside while blocking Trump's team from filming. But Trump's campaign spokesman claims the worker was suffering from a mental health episode and denies there was any pushing.
In June of 1775, the Continental Congress created a unified army out of the revolutionary forces encamped around Boston and New York, and named after the great George Washington, Commander-in-Chief. The Continental Army suffered a bitter winter of Valley Forge, found glory across the waters of the Delaware, and seized victory from Cornwallis of Yorktown. Our Army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. And at Fort McHenry, under the rocket's red glare, it had nothing but victory.
Man, them airports didn't stand a chance, did they? Those jets fold like paper airplanes for musket fire. Now, you might be asking, I wonder who would be celebrating, who would be performing at an event like this? Could they get Snoop to come back? Could they get Nelly? Maybe 50 Cent? Kodak Black? There'll be several musical acts throughout the celebration, including country singer Scotty Hastings, a former Army infantryman who was wounded in Afghanistan, country singer Noah Hicks of Nashville, and DJ Nyla Simone. I got nervous. I thought it was Nina Simone at first, but okay. All right. Nyla. Wow. I can tell you this, Kid Rock's gonna be furious. Kid Rock's gonna be furious. I guess his driver got deported, so he couldn't make it. He don't know how to drive on his own. He just drive a tractor. Y'all know he be out there on the farm. Now here's a wonderful question, because I've been talking about Trump's birthday and the Army. Well, which is it? Is it Trump's birthday or is it the Army, right? I'm glad you asked. Though the parade is on the same day as the president's 79th birthday, event organizers and administration officials say it's solely to celebrate the U.S. Army. The administration has insisted that the Army's anniversary and Trump's birthday are a coincidence and that the parade is justified to honor soldiers' sacrifice. Plans for the parade began in earnest about a month ago, yet as focus squares on the U.S. Army's 250 years of existence, other branches are notably left out. The Navy, which also celebrates its 250th anniversary this year in October, has no plans for a similar parade. Neither does the Marine Corps for its 250th in November. He really tried it, didn't he? He really tried it, didn't he? You know how mad he must have been when he realized that his plan was foiled, that the Navy and the Marines were also both this year. You can't make this up. These are the lengths that MAGA goes to cover their tracks. Exactly what you just saw.
And officials in Washington are stepping up security ahead of Saturday's celebration marking the founding of the United States Army 250 years ago. Thousands of people are expected to attend a massive military parade and festival along the National Mall. Battle tanks and fighting vehicles are being shipped to the nation's capital by the dozen. The event coincides with President Trump's 79th birthday on Saturday and will cost up to $45 million. Some streets around Washington will be closed for 4 days.
Hello? Yeah, I can't make it. Trump birthday, sorry. The Army's 250th birthday celebration just happened to be on the same day as Trump's 79th, and that's the only one we recognizing, but it's really the Army. So because I'm boxed in. They close all 4 streets around me. And tell Tony I can't pay him neither. Now I was gonna put it in the mailbox. I can't get to the mailbox. No, I can't get mail because they can't come in. I can't get mail now. I ain't seen my family since before the parade started.
General Hertling, so Saturday is the 250th anniversary, the birthday of the United States Army, a day, of course, worthy of celebration. I remember your friend and ours, Jack Jacobs, Colonel Jacobs, the Medal of Honor recipient, saying, we're not a tanks in the street country, saying that over the years in the past. But on Saturday, we will be. How are you feeling about it?
Well, the 250th, Willie, for the audience, is it's a critical event for the U.S. Army. It's not only 250 years, but that coincides with a year before our country was declared a nation. So our Army is older than our country. It was originally the Continental Army. And I agree with Colonel Jacobs that I'm all for celebrating soldiers, and there's going to be a lot of soldiers at this parade. I'm personally, truth be told, I'm not a parade kind of guy, to be honest with you. I hate parades, even when I was a cadet at West Point. But this is an indication of mission creep foisted upon the Army by the politicians.
I'm sorry. Did somebody say creep? Don't put that on the. Don't put that name in it. I know that's what we call it, but just put DJT on there. Yeah, don't put creep because there's a lot of them in there. Somebody else, one of the other cabinet officials might get that gift.
Because what we're seeing is an event that was going to be static displays at the mall, soldiers marching downtown, has now been turned into a very high-profile event. And as you see, as you're going over all those vehicles, Mike Barnacle asked before, how much is this going to cost? It's going to cost a lot. Not only are those vehicles used a lot, have they been transported from different military bases, but as you can see, looking at those tanks and Bradleys that you're showing right now, they've all been freshly painted. The last time a bunch of tanks were brought to Washington, D.C., it was at a last-minute time frame, and they looked bad. I mean, they were not a good reflection of the Army. So obviously, the commanders and the soldiers who take a great deal of pride in their vehicles want them to be looking well, and that's created a more cost other than the train load and the railhead, and the helicopters are going to be flying overhead, and the fuel that's going to be used, and the support for the almost 8,000 soldiers that are going to be marching inside of that column with the other vehicles to represent wars that the nation has fought in different period dress and uniforms. It was a good idea by the Army to celebrate this and use it as a recruiting tool. It's just been generated a lot more interest because of the connection with the president's birthday, that's for sure.
Yeah, and updated estimates on cost, $50-60 million, perhaps more than that, because the streets of Washington likely going to need to be repaved and fixed because these tanks, of course, are so heavy. And we should, certainly this comes, Mika, just days after, we're amid what we're seeing in Los Angeles about American troops there. I think that's triggering for a lot of people. And we reported on this last week, but it's worth repeating that the Army is not the only branch of service celebrating a 250th birthday this year. The Navy is doing so in October, the Marines in November, but neither of them are getting a parade in Washington. Only the Army, only because its birthday coincides with that of President Trump.
Now, Trump, I know you thought you were slick trying to slide in on the Army's birthday. Pretty much anybody whose birthday would have happened to be a military parade. Here's the thing. I looked at the Evite, especially on the right side of the aisle, because we know the left side, they didn't even open it. In fact, I think they unsubscribed. But on the right side of the aisle, the Evites, they're not looking good. They're not looking well, but it's a lot of maybes. It's a lot of maybes. You know what I mean? Maybe they might pop up last minute.
And there's the question of how many Republicans in the nation's capital will be sticking around to attend. Scripps News congressional correspondent Nate Reed is live for us on Capitol Hill. And Nate, we know that Democrats are not a fan of what's going to happen Saturday, whether it's the cost or the symbolism, so we don't expect them to attend. But you've been finding some interesting number when it comes to some of the president's closest allies on Capitol Hill. They might not be showing up either.
Yeah, throughout the day today, Andrew, we've gotten in contact with all but one of the Republican Senate offices, and only one Republican senator says that they will attend the military parade. Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas, he told us that he will be in attendance. 41 Republican senators told us that they will not be in attendance. Another 9 refuse to comment. A couple say that they're not yet sure if they want to come to Washington, D.C. for this event. But it's stunning numbers for the fact that the Republican conference, of course, has a majority, and they've refused to be here for the military parade. Now, a number of Republican senators have told us that they have concerns about the optics of a military parade on the streets of Washington, D.C.
Well, that's weird, because y'all didn't have a problem with the optics of a military parade on the streets of Los Angeles, California. We just saw that.
The United States of America is the most powerful country in all of human history. We're a lion, and a lion doesn't have to tell you it's a lion. Everybody else in the jungle knows, and we're a lion. I would save the money, but it's, if the president wants to have a parade, he's the president, and I'm not.
Hey, Trump. Yeah, Senator Kennedy said you should go to therapy. Yeah, he said this chronic insecurity will not be fixed by this parade. And let's also address that too. We understand that this is Trump's ego parade. Let's evaluate exactly how long Trump's ego will be satiated by the parade. Do you think this is going to have any lasting power beyond the last tank rolling over the last pothole? This is something to make him feel good for the moment and won't even last as long as it will take to get these tanks out of DC. But we gotta pay for it. And y'all wanna talk about waste, fraud, and abuse? Really?
Never been a big fan of goose-stepping soldiers in big tanks and missiles rolling down the street. So if you ask me, I wouldn't have done it.
Senator Rand Paul, who you just heard from, told us he will not be in attendance. Senator John Kennedy, who you also just heard from, has not yet told us whether he plans to attend the military parade. He refused comment on multiple occasions today. Now, we spoke with the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. He told us he does not know of any Democrats who will be attending the parade over the weekend, but certainly notable given how much President Trump has put an emphasis in this parade and the already ongoing questions about how many people will turn up here in Washington to attend that parade.
All right, now, Democrats, I respect where you're coming from. I totally understand. I get that you would have no interest in going to this parade. But hear me out. Somebody needs to be there just to capture the ratchetry. Like, somebody needs to be there just to capture all the people that are not there. You know what I mean? We just need, even if you just set up a phone, that's fine. I'm totally fine with that. And it's a little funny too, how so many people are not only not going, but willing to admit that they're not going. Trump, it's not, this whole ego thing, like you brought in all the service members, but like your own colleagues not even going. And I wonder why. Look at me. And there's this. Donald Trump's military parade could be rained out. Attendees of the upcoming military parade celebrating the Army's 250th anniversary may need to watch the skies and pack rain gear as showers are forecasted to affect the DC area on Saturday. Look at the ancestors' work. Look at the ancestors' work. First they hit Nottoway. Then they hit the Confederate Museum. Then we saw what happened in Kalorama, so we know that they in the D.C. area. You know what I mean? We know that they in the D.C. area doing work. But, I thought they were working with fire. Let me find out the ancestors. They like Captain Planet. They got all the tools. Okay, I see y'all working. Boy, that whole thing I said about we need to get at least one camera just to capture the footage, please. Somebody. Yeah, well, draw straws. Do what you gotta do. According to Caroline Leavitt, the Trump administration won't be recognizing Pride Month and thinks it's silly to throw a parade for just 7% of the population, which is why they're throwing a $120 million parade for just one man's ego instead. And then there's this one. Why does Trump need a fence around the White House during a military parade? That is a really good question. Is he afraid of friendly fire? So let me get this straight. Your friends can't come to the parade, so you just open it up. You just inviting whoever, but you got to be protected just in case the ops pop up while you're surrounded by 6,600 soldiers and tanks and aircrafts and whatnot. There's insecurity, and then there's needing a fence at your own party. I mean, this dude's scared to leave VIP at his own party. We're going to march on Trump's fake military parade he never served. If there's money for a parade, there's money for Medicaid. No King's Day. Oh, and then there's that. Captain Bone Spurs there. Taco trucks ready for Trump's birthday parade. Them taco trucks gonna do business. They gonna do bit, huh? He banned the taco trucks? Now I get why he would do that, but I mean, that's most of the reason why I think a lot of them were going. So it's going to be some more patches in that infield with no tacos. Breaking. New data reveals the money being spent on Trump's military parade could feed every single homeless veteran in America for more than 4 months. What an insulting and wasteful use of resources. Now, that part there at the end is an inescapable truth because, wow, disrespecting the service members, as we've seen so many times, and even since he's been in office with the treatment of the veterans, is abhorrent. But spending money while you pull back and claw back what could be life-sustaining resources from not only the citizens that are paying for this, but even the people who fought for this is a different kind of nasty. And all of a sudden, it makes a whole lot more sense why that e-bike looks exactly the way that it did. And as much as it's never a good look, explains why you have to throw your own party. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully you got a chance to catch the live premiere. As I mentioned last time, I premiere all of my videos and I love the opportunity to chat with you guys while you are seeing the content for the first time. And we keep those chats going over on Patreon, where we have the community chats. All you need to participate is an account, which you can sign up for free over at patreon.com/Reese Waters. So get yourself an account, jump in the chat, and while you're there, take a look around and let me know what you think of the place. We also offer all the same benefits that are available here on membership on Patreon as well. Now, I'll be honest. I have been working a lot. I've been out here working like Tommy from Martin.
If you can't find any work, I'll put in a good word for you at my job, man.
You ain't got no job, man!
I've been making so much content that we've had to put out multiples a day some days, or as I call it, BOGO. So be on the lookout for additional notifications. Just because you've seen one video come out doesn't mean another one might not. And those of you early birds, of which I am not one, you are in luck, because I do want to try out dropping some videos in the morning, because I know you guys like to watch content early in the morning. Now, that also gives me the opportunity to put out some behind the scenes content, so you members be on the lookout for that, as well as some interviews. I'm going to be bringing those to you as well.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today, and we will leave you with a I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live!
But when it comes to exactly how we got to a point of producing so much content, so many people went into this, but I want to give some special love to our researcher on the channel, Regina. You guys know her and you love her, and here she is right here. Shout out to her supporting the channel, which, by the way, this shirt and a whole lot more is available at reesewaters.com, so make sure you check that out. But as long as she's still out here doing her thing, I'm going to be out here doing my thing. There's a whole lot more to come. Don't make me go to the Trump.